Call to order the meeting of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. We'll begin with a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This evening, before we begin our agenda, on behalf of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen and our staff, we want to extend our condolences to City of Springfield Mayor Ann Snyder in the death of her husband, Larry. Death is certainly difficult at any time, but especially during the holiday season, and Ann does a wonderful job representing the City of Springfield, and we want her to know that we are thinking of her tonight with our thoughts and our prayers. And with that, I'm going to ask us to take a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Recognize Alderman Hubbard.
Yes, we would like to just, on behalf, I can say, of the board, we're proud of our young men from Springfield High School that were finalists in the state football program, so let's give them a hand. Thanks, sir.
Tonight is the presentation of our Employee Service Awards, and we're going to do that in just a moment. But before we do that, we want to recognize and honor someone else. Fire Chief Jimmy Hamill will be officially retiring the 31st of this month. 44 years of service to the City of Springfield, and we appreciate Jimmy and all that he's done in his role as Fire Chief. This time we'll do our presentation of Employee Service Awards. The Alderman step. We'll begin tonight with 5-year awards. Fire Department, Daniel Miller. Fire Department, Charles Garza. Police Department, Angelina Morgan. Police Department, Houston Evans. Police Department, Chad Clapper. City Clerk, Emily Briggs. City Recorder and Finance Director, Lisa Crockett. These are our 10-year awards. Fire Department, William Planner. 15-year awards, Parks and Recreation, Jason Duffy. Fire Department, Ryan Tanner. Fire Department, Dustin Jones. Oh. 20-year awards. Police Department, Charles Haynes. City Recorder Department, Judy Hart. These are our 25-year awards. Police Department, Eddie Sewell. Jason, you running on patrol?
With the firemen.
Engineering Department, Kevin Eaglesize. Police Department, Lori Pack.
I'm going to try to run off. Fine.
These are our 30-year service awards. Gas Department, Don Brewster. Parks and Recreation Department, 40 years. Patty Newton. I think she's official director. There's no doubt.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I like the Christmas anyway.
45 years of service, police department. And when he comes, he's going to have to show you his socks. Andy Johnson. That concludes our years of service awards.
On Tuesday and Thursday on Thursday.
Charlie, you gonna stick around? I'll buy you lunch next time. I'm saying this. Get that bond, make it.
Yeah.
Very fitting tribute, Chief Hamill, from your department. We also want to recognize tonight our new Public Affairs Coordinator, Candace Tillman, who began December the 2nd, working for the City of Springfield as our Public Affairs Coordinator. You just kind of wave your hand, let everybody see who you are back there. All right, 1.3, approval of the minutes from the regular meeting for the Board of Mayor and Aldermen held November the 19th, 2019. Do we have a motion? Motion made by Alderman Hubbard, second by Alderman Gregg. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We come to the public hearing part of our meeting tonight. For those wishing to speak to either item on our public hearing, you will come to the podium, state your name, and you will have 2 minutes. You'll have 2 minutes. Ordinance 19-26, an ordinance establishing new rates and fees for the services at the center. Is there anyone wishes to speak to this? I declare the public hearing closed. Ordinance 19-27, an ordinance rezoning one parcel located in the 9th Civil District on South Main Street from R20 Low Density Residential District to RS10 Medium Density Residential Single Family District. Is there anyone that wishes to speak to this? If you'll line up on the wall on here to my left. Again, when you come to the podium, state your name and you will have 2 minutes. Okay. And also state your address, please.
Good evening, everyone, and I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. I want to reiterate that Will Filler lost to it, also that Amara has lost her husband. So we want to let her know that we are hearts and our prayers are with her and her family. So we come tonight to...
Please state your name and your...
My name is Darrell Woodard. I live on 25, everybody hear me? I live at 2538 South Main Street. This is a property, skips one property over from what the in question property is, and I live there, along with my mother, who lives property adjacent to it, who will speak after me. And I just want to, this group to address some of the concerns that we have that we live around as for safety and things with this zoning issue will change. And I hope you would take in consideration that most of the people that live in this area have been here at least 20 or 30 years, and I feel like that the elected officials should take in consideration our feelings and our concerns. For safety, this property has one interest in this property, which we think would be a safety issue in case of fire and police issues. Also, the sewer capacity at this time does not enable this property to handle 31 other properties on this said property. And the sidewalks in the neighborhood is also a safety issue. We have sidewalks coming from Walmart to nowhere close to this property out to South Main. They stop at 21st Avenue, pick back up at Martin Luther King Park and Law Road. So we have a dash in there where we don't have safety for our sidewalks. If you go down there this time of day or in the evening or in the mornings, we have a lot of constituents and pedestrians walking that avenue with no safety place to get out of the traffic area. And we also have at least 2,000 people live in this one area around what we're talking about putting these new homes at, or apartments or whatever we are trying to do. And if this commission passes this rezoning, I know that you can't hold the feet to the fire of the people who own the property or what they put on it. So I want you to take into consideration that we don't want to hold anyone there for making money on property that they acquire.
Time has expired.
And they should be able to move the property. But we want to consider that we was in the property first, and we don't want our property to be divided by increasing this. And we thank you for your consideration.
To remind you, please hold your comments. 2 minutes, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Betty Woodard, and I live at 2535 South Main Street. I've been there since 1978, bought and built a house there, and we've been there since then. And we've seen people come and go. We've had good neighbors, pleasant neighbors, peaceful neighbors. And we would like for that to stay that way. Now, you don't have any control over who moves in. It's just that how you build the houses and what they're for. Because there's been before, and I was on the planning and zoning before, that this same acreage was called for to build this same zoning that you have now, which is R10. It didn't go through. So we are asking that you do what you can to keep the neighborhood like it is, because it's nothing like not having peace. Peace is where you live, where you associate with your loved ones, for your friends and everybody that you come in contact with. So I would like, from my point of view, if you would please, if whatever's going to be zoned there, that it will be with what's already there. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
My name is Joyce Hahn, and I've lived at 2407 South Main Street for over 50 years. When we bought it, it was Route 1. Then they changed it to Route 6. Then we were put in the city, and it was Box 184. When we bought it, the loudest people out there was the Oddfellow Cemetery people. It was quiet. Nobody bothered anybody else. We all lived in harmony there. And I would like to continue to live there. But with this reorganization that some of them are wanting to do, I'm afraid it's going to take away a lot of my way of life that I've had there for all these years, along with some of the other people that's been there for a long time. These newcomers, as I'd like to call them, I don't feel have our best interest at heart. I can't say that the man doesn't have the right to do with his property what he wants to. I agree with that. But I also think that we deserve some consideration too. And I guess that's about all I want to say. I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Dr. Dale Barner, 2113 South Main. We have a lot of things happening in Springfield. We've begun as a city to encourage upscale restaurants, a new theater, housing, and boutiques. We also have several property owners, myself included, who have been upgrading their properties in South Main Street. Bringing in the proposed project will not help improve this area as it is desired, but rather serve to downgrade it to its current status of low-income Section 8 properties. We already have enough low-income housing on this street. Let's encourage median income housing with a minimum of 1,500 square feet on the existing zoned property. This will garner the $200,000 to $225,000 price tag that's needed to do that. As we come into Springfield, the front porch, via 431, what do we see? We see Landrum Court, Robin Hood Apartments, Country Boy, Southfield, Sleepy Hollow, One Stop. We got the projects just off the street. A lot of welfare folks living down these streets. A lot of burden on this town. Let's look at two areas tonight, though. Crime and education. Current Springfield population is just under 17,000, with the county about 70,000. Stats I'm going to give here come from TBI and FBI crime reports and crimereports.com. Springfield has a crime index of 9, which means we're safer in Springfield than 9% of the rest of the country. We have a 1 in 24 chance to become a victim of a violent crime or a property crime or DUI. Violent crimes in Springfield are 2.5 times higher than the national average and 1.5 times higher than the rest of Tennessee. Ask yourself a question. Where do the criminals hide? In a densely populated low-income housing area or in an upscale neighborhood such as Legacy? According to Neighborhood Scout, in Springfield, chances of being a victim of violent crime, 1 in 109.
Time has expired, Dr. Barner.
All right.
Raymond Francis, 4652 Dunn Road. To begin with, let me talk just a moment about a narrative that's been floating around that we were against duplexes 2.5 years ago. We were against the R15, regardless of what you put on it. It was zone R20, and we for R20 now, and you can put duplexes on it. We are against you going with the RS10 now because it's 31 houses. 1,300 square feet is what they put down. But as I talked to Dave Brewer today, I found out we have no control over that. They can put in there any square feet they want to. The only control we have is over the lot itself. So that's why we're saying no RS10. Also, Dr. Barnes said something about the front porch. Folks, when people come into Springfield, they come in 431. They make a decision on Springfield. We've got a lot of people that make their living in Springfield, but they live in other counties because they don't like the city of Springfield. They don't like what's going on, and a lot of them come down that road. That's not fair, because the city of Springfield, we have a passion for it. We love it. I've spent 40 years here, and I hate to hear and see people throughout the mid-state talk down about Springfield because they come down at 431 and see everything. And last but not least, you're talking about a cost, $6 million. If these homes were worth $200,000 and $6 million, that's about $180,000 tax dollars. How much are you losing on the 40 or 50 people that signed this petition that have property valued that or more, whose property will be devalued? How much are you losing people driving down 431 saying, I don't want to live in Springfield because of all the low rent houses? How much money we're losing there? We're sort of cutting our nose off for our face for $120,000 or $180,000. Now, I also have a petition signed by 49 people, and also it has everybody
Time
who's
is
adjourned.
expired, Mr. Francis.
Do you want this petition? Last time y'all asked for it, so that's why I brought it. It has everybody whose property joins that property. Okay. Thank you very much.
My name's Kevin Hudgens. I have 2 properties on South Main Street, 2136 and 2134. I am for this development. I believe it will bring much-needed growth, positive growth, and I think that's what we need. I think that's what we need on South Main. So that's about all I got to say. I'm for it. Thank you.
All right, is there anyone else that wishes to speak during the public hearing? We declare the public hearing closed. Let's move on to our legislative section. 2.1, discuss and possibly take action on ordinance 19-23 on third and final reading. An ordinance amending the City of Springfield Conditions of Service Manual by amending the section entitled Gas, by amending certain policies to read as set forth in Exhibit A. Do I have a motion? Motion made by Alderman Gregg, seconded by Alderman Hubbard. Is there any discussion? Are we ready to vote? Everyone has voted. Does anyone wish to change their vote? Clerk will record the vote.
Motion passes 6-0.
2.2, discuss and possibly take action on ordinance 19-24 on third and final reading. An ordinance amending the fiscal year 2020 annual budget by amending certain general fund operating budgets. Motion made by Alderman Hubbard, second by Alderman Gregg. Is there any discussion? We'll vote. Everyone has voted. Does anyone wish to change their vote? Clerk will record the vote.
Motion passes 6-0.
Item 2.3, discuss and possibly take action on ordinance 19-26 on second reading, an ordinance establishing new rates and fees for services at the center. We have a motion. Alderman Gregg has made the motion. Alderman Trotter has seconded the motion. Is there any discussion?
I just want to reiterate the excellent job that you are doing, Director, and your staff to make our center and all our parks second to none. And for the people who can't afford the expensive Y or other areas, we want to tell you, come to the center, especially the exercise room.
Anyone else? We ready to vote? Everyone has voted. Does anyone wish to change their vote? The clerk will record the vote.
Motion passes 6-0.
Item 2.4, discuss and possibly take action on ordinance 19-27 on second reading. An ordinance rezoning one parcel located in the 9th Civil District on South Main Street from R20 Low Density Residential District to RS10 Medium Density Residential Single Family District. Alderman Trotter has made the motion. Alderman Hubbard has seconded the motion. Is there discussion?
Yes.
Alderman Trotter?
Yes, you heard the people of that area speak on it, and I think they spoke passionately about their area, and I think we should consider it. I think the zoning board turned it down, so I think they spoke well, and I know they're good people, and they lived there a long time, and I sympathize with them.
Anyone else? Alderman Sneed.
Point of order. I need a parliamentary question for the city attorney. Can the maker of the motion vote no on the motion?
Yes.
No further questions, Mayor?
Is there any other discussion?
Yes, I heard the passion, and I empathize with the passion. And I would say that Springfield is growing. Springfield is being recognized on a national level because I'm the one that's out there. Returning from San Antonio, Texas last month. Our housing, our jobs, our education system is rated high among cities of our same size in America. So we're doing good. Yes, we have minor problems, but compared to cities across America and cities in the state of Tennessee, we're doing good. And last but not least, no, I'm not for no Section 8 houses. I am for upscale houses. And so, you know, my consideration of upscale houses is what I will support.
Anyone on this side? Alderman Sneed?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Having been on the Planning Commission and having reviewed all of the audio from all previous meetings and all previous public hearings and all meetings where public hearings were not allowed but people still were granted permission to speak, I've reviewed the history of this property and some of the notes from the comments at the public hearing we just listened to, some of the bullet points highlighted a fire and police issue, a sewer capacity issue, and a sidewalk issue. The subdivision will have sidewalks, so that's a start. The fire and police issue, I pulled the records for that area about a month ago, and there's actually a decrease in criminal activity in that area from how much back? Back to May. The sewer capacity that was mentioned is not an issue. There is plenty of sewer capacity. There was a comment that they had wished that the property could be R15. I think that's probably, somebody probably wants to say RS15, but that was asked for a while back and there's public outrage about that. And the property values for property assessment, the house is assessed one price and the land is assessed another. The current property owners should see an increase in the value of their properties per acre. The land will increase if these homes are sold for the prices, because I don't think any of the properties out there, when the land is appraised, will be sold for residential purposes as high as these will. The homes, if your homes are larger, that's not going to comp the same unless it's the same size house or near the same age or has been sold in the recent years. So the comp issue is pretty much a moot point. And then as a general contractor and having built subdivisions, I've already crunched the numbers on the project. It's not possible to build the lower income homes that you have mentioned in fear. It's cost prohibitive. And the cost of construction, the cost of labor, the cost of aggregate material, all dictate that the homes will have to be at a certain price level. I think that's a fear that's misplaced. And I'll conclude with that, Mayor.
Any other discussion? Are we ready to vote?
Ready to vote.
All the votes have been made. Does anyone wish to change their vote? Clerk will record the vote.
Motion passes 5-1.
Item 2.5, discuss and possibly take action on Resolution 19-29, a resolution to request funding for completion of U.S. Highway 431 improvement project. Do we have a motion? Alderman Hubbard has made the motion. Alderman Trotter has seconded the motion. Any discussion?
I might just say that this resolution came from, Dr. Kumar recommended it. It's asking for $8 million for planning and engineering to widen 431 all the way to Interstate 24. The county passed pretty much the same resolution last month.
Any discussion? We will vote. Votes are in. Does anyone wish to change their vote? Ask the clerk to record the vote.
Motion passes 6-0.
Item 2.6, discuss and possibly take action on Resolution 19-30, a resolution declaring certain property surplus and authorizing the disposal of such property. Alderman Hubbard has made the motion. Alderman Head has seconded the motion. Is there any discussion? Then we will vote. The votes are in. Does anyone wish to change their vote? Then the clerk will record the vote.
Motion passes 6-0.
Administrative section of our agenda. Item 3.1, discuss and possibly take action on the adjustment of the retail electric rates of the Springfield Electric Department due to a wholesale fuel cost adjustment by Tennessee Valley Authority. Alderman Hubbard has made the motion. Alderman Gregg has seconded the motion. Mr. Garner?
Going up this under 1% this month.
Any discussion? We will vote. Any changes to your vote? The clerk will record the vote.
Motion passes 6-0.
Item 3.2, discuss and possibly take action on the adjustment of monthly gas rates of the Springfield Gas Department. Do we have a motion? Mr. Trotter, Alderman Trotter has made the motion. Alderman Hubbard has seconded the motion. Mr. Rowe?
The purchase gas adjustment's up 5.59% this month.
Any discussion? And we will vote. Votes have been made. Does anyone wish to change their vote? Clerk will record the vote.
Motion passes 6-0.
Item 3.3, discuss and possibly take action to approve change order number 3 to the Mars Wall Construction Company Incorporated contract in the amount of $17,292.24 for the Electrolux Access Road Natural Gas Relocation Project. The new contract amount will be $523,286.05. Alderman Trotter has made the motion. Alderman Hubbard has seconded the motion. Is there any discussion? We will vote. Votes have been made. Does anyone wish to change their vote? The clerk will record the vote.
Motion passes 6-0.
Item 3.4, discuss and possibly take action on the interlocal cooperation agreement between the City of Springfield and the Robertson County Highway Department for winter road maintenance on Oakland Road and Poplar Avenue. Alderman Hubbard has made the motion. Alderman Head has seconded the motion. Is there anything from the city manager on this?
This is the same agreement that we approved last year.
Okay.
And we're just doing it on an annual basis.
Any discussion? And we will vote. The votes are in. Does anyone wish to change their vote? Clerk will record the vote.
Motion passes 6-0.
Item 3.5, discuss and possibly take action to approve a Tennessee Highway Safety Office, THSO grant award for the police department in the amount of $15,500. Alderman Trotter has made the motion. Alderman Hubbard has seconded the motion.
This is the same grant that we get every year, $15,500.
Any discussion? Then we will vote. The votes are in. Does anyone wish to change their vote? The clerk will record the vote.
Motion passes 6-0.
Item 3.6, discuss and possibly take action on expiring board appointments for the Board of Zoning Appeals, Construction Board of Adjustments and Appeals, Housing Authority Board, and the Springfield-Robertson County Joint Airport Board. Need a second. Alderman Trotter has made the motion. Alderman Gregg has seconded the motion. Is there any discussion? No discussion, gentlemen? Do we need to read these names?
I would.
No, it's not required. Not unless there's two for one seat.
No discussion. Then we will vote. The votes are in. Does anyone wish to change their vote? The clerk will record the vote.
Motion passes 5-1.
All right, the consent item of our agenda. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items on the consent agenda tonight. Do we want to consider this as a whole?
My motion is to accept the whole consent.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Alderman Hubbard has made the motion. Alderman Trotter has seconded the motion. Is there any discussion? Clerk will record the vote. Okay, we'll vote. I'm sorry. Now you can record it.
Motion passes 6-0.
This time, we will have our city manager's report.
Well, I too would like to congratulate Fire Chief Jimmy Hamill on his retirement. We're definitely going to miss him. He's going to be close by, but he has just done a wonderful job. He has been an exemplary leader for the fire department, and I know everyone's going to miss him, as was evidenced tonight by the fact that so many of your employees came out to wish you well. I think that speaks volumes. So, Jimmy, we're going to miss you. One thing that we've been doing every year is we have had, past 2 years anyway, a strategic planning session. And so we are going to plan on doing that again. We're going to do it a little differently. We're going to use someone different. And we have 3 dates that we'd like to throw out to see if you all can make either one of these dates work. We're looking at about a 3.5-hour session on January the 30th, which is a Thursday, February the 11th, a Tuesday, or February the 13th, a Thursday. So if you would let us know which date works the best for all of you, we will try to go ahead and get that scheduled, find a location, and make it work.
We want to set that tonight.
I would prefer.
Well, let's just go through it, gentlemen, and start with the first date that she offered, January the 30th. Does anyone have a conflict with that date on Thursday night? January
I can
the
make
30th?
it.
Sir?
I can make it.
Okay. Anyone have a problem? If no one has a problem, then we'll go with the first date. And what time will that start? 6? Excuse me.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
No.
You want me here? I don't have to be.
No.
You picked a good week to
You
be
have a
out.
good weekend, yeah.
So no one has a problem with the 30th of January, and that will begin at what time?
Would you prefer to do 5:30 to 9 or 5 to 8:30?
With food.
Yes,
Food.
yes.
Ms. Scott, I know you.
Okay, 5 to 8:30.
At this point, it will be here.
Yes. Until, we'll find another location, but we'll just say for now, we'll do it here.
So January the 30th at 5 PM will be our planning session,
Our strategic planning.
strategic planning. Okay?
And we will come up with another location. Okay,
In preparation for this, as we get closer to it, we had that last year, we had all the bullet points. I'd like to know where we are in the progress of all of these lists. I've mentioned that there's a lot of things on the list that continue to be on the list, they're not getting marked off, and new things are added. So,
that's why we will look at the last 2 years. We'll have both lists, we'll have our priorities. Now, last year, we just went through and said it's an ongoing project, or we finished, or we removed it. So we will, like I said, this time, I think we're looking at possibly having a survey beforehand to sort of get some input so that we can save some time on the night of the actual session. And anyway, it's going to be different, and I think we'll accomplish a lot. But we'll be looking back at what we've already done.
what got removed?
Well, it was what we all agreed on last year. I don't have it in front of me, but we did remove a couple. Not many. I mean, out of the whole list, there were very few that got removed. Most of them were ongoing, and several were completed. Another thing, of course, remember, the offices are closed, city offices on December 24th and 25th, as well as January 1st. And Winter Wonderland has had some issues. We had a very, very successful first weekend, last weekend, and understand even though, let's see, Friday night, the weather was miserable and it rained, couple hundred people went through.
I think Mr. Martin was trying to reopen the splash pad.
And then Saturday, they gave away 1,400 cups of hot chocolate, so 1,400 people, unless some of them were getting in there twice. But it's flooded now. I guess it's still flooded, right?
It's better.
It's better, but it's still not open.
We're 90% sure we're gonna open tomorrow.
Okay, 90%. Okay, and last, we are going to have our first Customer Appreciation Day here at City Hall. So on this Friday, the 20th, from 7:30 till noon, we're going to have little goodies and refreshments out in the lobby so that people that come in to pay property tax bills and utility bills, we want to make them feel happy. And we want to welcome them, just let them know how much we appreciate them. So if you get a chance to stop by this Friday from 7:30 to noon in the lobby here at City Hall. And I think that's all I have.
Mr. Mayor, I have to make a comment, because I was hearing the bashing of Springfield is considered a dynamic town that's ready to explode in a positive way. And so that sort of bothered me, sir, because we don't put out those lies. I have people in my church who's buying property here in Springfield, so it's on the rise.
At this time, we will not officially adjourn our meeting, but the board itself will adjourn upstairs for executive session. When we are done in the executive session, then we will come back and resume our meeting after that.
Point of order.
Yes.
You have to vote to go into executive session.
Do we vote to go into executive session? Do I have a motion?
Mr. Acting Mayor, I move that we go into executive session.
All right. Alderman Hubbard has made the motion. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Do I have a motion? Alderman Hubbard has made the motion. Alderman Trotter has seconded the motion. Is there any discussion?
Ready to vote.
All right. If you are in favor of the motion, vote yes. We'll vote. The votes are in. Does anyone wish to change their vote? Clerk will record the vote.
Motion passes 6-0.
Any other items before the board tonight? Anything else? Again, our condolences to Mayor Snyder. For those that would like to know, visitation will be tomorrow from 3 until 7, and on Thursday from 9 a.m., and the funeral will be at 10 a.m., and both days will be at Springfield First United Methodist Church, and to let her know our thoughts and prayers are with her. Is there any objection to adjournment? We adjourn.